Yeah. Damn good day. Damn good day to be alive. Got my incense going, getting the ambiance together for us. Welcome to Kush Equilibrium. I am your always smoking host. Oops, great. I don't know where that incense came from. I don't think that's from our little collection of incense, but I had to go get us some more. Y'all know I like to have incense lit for us. Oh, man. There we go. So y'all can actually hear me. I'll be forgetting I be having the music playing and shit. See, I go to the store, right? Quick little story before we get to the video of the day. I typically I'm gonna have to buy our incense. I'm not supposed to say our incense in a bigger bundle. I buy them at 10. I buy them 10 each. It's 10 at a time for $3. You know, you can get like a mixed bag of whatever incense somebody originally wanted. They take it to the register. They don't want it, so they got all these mixed up incense. They sell them for the low. But I like what I like. Keep the aroma. Gotta keep the aroma right. But what's going on? What's crack with everybody? I got a good show. I got a good reaction. Y'all know your boy the game and his feelings. Cause he feel like he one of them top. He one of the top. Without being messy today, because I'm trying not to be messy. I still got a little bit of a hangover from last night, so he feel like he one of them top, you know what's in the game. You feel me? So I found a proper reaction. I wish I would have brought them to y'all sooner. They're a little controversial, but controversial in a good way to me. They just don't take BS. They cut through the BS. They read between the lines. They get straight to the point. No filter. And that's hard for a lot of people to digest. But we gonna digest a little bit what they talking about. Pause. And yeah, let's get to it, man. I don't want to hold y'all up too long because I want to get some videos in today. I got free time for a good couple of days where I ain't got no biker obligations. So I want to get back to my people and make sure I get right with y'all. But like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So that way we keep the YouTube police outside while we in here smoking, drinking, chopping it up about this music and doing what we do. We don't need them in our business. So go on and handle that business real quick. I'm going to share the screen while y'all take care of that little bit of business. We're going to get to it. Turn this down a little touch. No, not that low. I want to still hear it. There we go. Oh, so smooth. All right, what I got today is Thought Crimes. If you ain't been watching them, hopefully this little introduction to them, how you over there subscribing and checking them out, because they definitely, if you good with conspiracies or connecting dots or thinking past where everybody stopped thinking, this is the show for you. So we're gonna see why we're gonna dive into a little bit of their show and see why 56 the game specifically is all in the uproar. You know what I'm saying? He's so game be, you ever notice how the game be so bothered? Like randomly throughout the year, a couple times a year, the game be like on a period. But let's dive into this video. Hold on. Look, again, I got my audio not right. Hold on. My audio not right. Let me fix it. Fix the audio. Every time, this is what, cause I don't like editing with my I don't like editing with my headphones on. or playing stuff back with my headphones on. So wait, did I do that right? Let me see if I did that right. Hold on. I'm about to share the screen again. Okay, now we got it together. We got it together. Here we go. Let's get y'all back where y'all supposed to be. Bam. Let's get it. Oh, let me get my lighter. Let's get it.
X, but I'm calling it Twitter because that's what I remember.
So basically, Prince was starting trouble.
Okay.
And he was on X, and he said that the game can smoke any New York MC.
Yeah.
That is what he said. Now, that's not my personal opinion. I don't.
We're going to attack this in sections as they bring it up. What's your opinion of the game in 2025? In 2025, what's your opinion of the game? Do he matter? Is he still nice? Is he worth? Is it even worth the conversation that we having right now to y'all to talk about the game? Let's see what they got to say.
See the game beating Jadakiss, but we're gonna have that discussion right now.
I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't need you to womansplain.
I will womansplain.
Okay.
Now the people who bringing up Fabulous smoke in the game.
Come on. Before we get into that,
Stop it.
Stop. All right. Now
Stop.
Now.
Drop.
Shut them down. Stopping that stuff. No.
Fabulous.
When you mention FAB, that's a no.
Fabulous couldn't take out Ray J.
No. Absolutely. Ray J, I mean, listen, Ray J got bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies, no G and X.
Hey, can we finally establish and just get it out the way that it's levels to this thing? And that's been a big part of the hip hop conversation for a little while now. It's levels to this. Fabulous level is like he do the fun rap. He do fun hip hop. That's that menacing street. I'm on your throat hip hop. I've never looked at Fabulous and seen that guy. I mean, maybe y'all have. And if you have, hey, put it in the comments. Hey, I've seen Fabulous ... and I feel like he underestimated for this reason or that reason or whatever. Again, to each his own. We all got our own flavors of Kool-Aid, so to speak. I might like fruit punch. You might not like fruit punch. You might want some kiwi or some grape or some strawberry or something. Hey, everybody got their own favorite Kool-Aid. Let's see what's going on.
Now, there was a conversation that was being had about going round for round. I'm not talking about discography. We're not talking about who had the most stellar guest feature verses. The conversation was having to go round for round. And I said, look, I mean, if we're going to be honest about everything, the game went round for round at the best. At the best. Even Jay-Z said, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that because he's going to keep making records. And that's what the game does.
As you stated, him and Joe Budden are two long-winded niggas.
Lyricists. Yes, they are. You know, and that was a really good battle, too, by the way. But I said New York because there's people there like, you know, well, Joe Budden. Because people online, they're arguing about Joe Budden in New Jersey. And I believe he was born in Queens or...
He was born in New York.
Yeah, New York, Harlem, Queens, one of them places.
He spent a lot of time in New Jersey.
Right. And when he claimed Jersey, that's when he popped up. But, yeah, so I said, look, I think the game going round for round with Jada, I think he'll get Jada. I'm going to just be honest with you.
This is a controversial take.
I had an Undertaker bail that one. Jada? That's in Jada Kiss. Again, I'm not a New York fan, so to speak. I'm not a New York fanboy when it comes to hip hop. But Jada Kiss? I played my fair share of Jada Kiss. I played my fair share of Jada Kiss. Ooh, what y'all think? Let's let him cook.
And
Yo, this is real good.
some people think you're trolling. Some people
Yeah.
think you are clickbaiting.
Okay.
Some people think that you're not having a serious hip hop conversation.
Yes, we are. They don't want to have it.
Explain yourself, Prince. Because we saw what Jadakiss has always done
Yeah.
throughout his career,
Yeah, absolutely.
even on Versus.
Yeah, Jada.
Tell us how. Because remember, Jadakiss and The Game both smoked 50 Cent.
Yeah, but
So come on, explain
That's child abuse.
a West Coast nigga. Because remember, Prince Solomon was born in the West Coast. Explain.
All right, so thank you, Southerner. Listen, this is what I mean by that. Look, if we're talking about bars, like I get it. You know, people bring up Checkmate, and he was supposed to beat 50. Everybody's supposed to beat 50. Lloyd Banks was supposed to beat 50. Young Buck beat 50. Young Buck has dope diss records against Curtis Jackson.
Rick Ross.
Round of applause for acknowledging that 50 was an easy target. Well deserved. But I think some of us had this mythology that 50 Cent just couldn't be touched or couldn't be taken out because of how gruesomely he took out Ja Rule. But let's think about Ja Rule for a second. He was kind of like a soft target. That's a bit of a soft target. Ja Rule played with, if we acknowledging that there's levels to this, right? Ja Rule was the extreme end of the kiddie pool. He was like, you know how we say fun hip hop rap, right? That line between where fun hip hop rap is and then like that next level starts, he be on that line, and every once in a blue moon, depending on the feature, he'd step over the line and do his best. Respect me, I represent the streets impression, and then went back to singing for the ladies and getting on his LL vibes. Rapping for the ladies, my bad. I don't want to say he's a singer. You know what I'm saying? You disrespected Ja Rule. Look, we kind of all disrespected Ja Rule because we let 50 Cent get that over. Like, come on, man. But let's go.
Rick Ross beat 50.
Yeah, so that kind of goes without saying.
Oh, wait,
However,
but
though,
then that's
Also, this also pose the question: is 50 Cent a bad win? Like, if you in hip hop, and they like, man, listen, you done bodied in the game, and the only thing on the person record is 50 Cent. Is that really a get? Like, oh, he cooked 50. Y'all tell me, man. Y'all tell me.
cancels one of the games.
Oh, hold on now, Sid.
You know I was about to
I
go.
got to stretch my wings out now.
Stretch my wings
Now-
and fly away.
Now, if you're talking about getting
hear
rid
that
of the
song,
whole
yeah.
crew, you got to leave that to the game. Now, the thing I don't like that people typically do, they'll say, well, whatever, 50's fifth, but then the game, let's be real, the game slowed down and stopped the G-Unit action. All right?
And you
And
felt
you can't bring up Lloyd Banks
felt
because
he-
he's a part of G-Unit. He got
felt-
smoked.
At that time, it did look like G-Unit was going to survive a nuclear holocaust. Like, they just, oh my God. I was never a G-Unit fan, but the way they went about stuff, the way they did stuff, the energy they had around them, it forced you to play a couple of, you looked up, you like, you Bob, yeah, you, like, is this G-Unit? Like, are you mad you listening to it? Like, damn, this shit. Matters. I can't stand this shit. I hate this shit. This, like, when you everybody had a song or two that you listen to, but you hate the fact that you even rock to that song. Like everybody know my hatred for Drake, right? It's a perfect example. Pound Cake. It got this one section where it's like it's the back end of the song, because it's like it's a double song kind of sort of whatever. It's the back half of that song at the end where it got an instrumental. I love that song for that instrumental, but it's a Drake song, so it's like, no, I can't do it. I'm not willing to do it. It has that feeling to it. And that's exactly how G Unit felt to me. Like, I can't not listen to y'all because y'all are everybody's speakers right now. All summer, all spring, all. You was almost a lame if you didn't play them at the peak of G Unit. If you wasn't rocking and playing G Unit, and then they started with the merch, like, I feel like now I feel like we were force fed G Unit in a way. Just looking back on it, but let's let him finish cooking.
Oh,
You felt he got smoked.
man,
right,
Lloyd
man.
Banks got smoked, and people keep bringing up Lloyd Banks. He had nothing for the game at the time. You can't rewrite history because if he did, the game would have got shut down.
That is true, because Lloyd Banks, that's what 50 got mad at Lloyd about. Like, he's like, you supposed to be a lyricist. You was supposed to smoke this nigga for us.
You didn't shut him down. Like I said on Twitter, I said, stop trying to act like Lloyd Banks shot blocked the game at the rim. It didn't happen. You can't rewrite history, niggas. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you want to give us a real tough lyricist with Jada, I'm going to be honest with you. Beanie Siegel, that was tough.
All right. Let me.
That was tough.
Let me come in here because I have to
Beans
defend.
had the best record out of the battle. I don't care what anybody says.
gotta-
Nobody likes to talk about it. Like nobody likes to talk about Common, Neo Soul Common, smoking at the time Gangsta Rap Cube. Nobody likes to have those conversations
I had to-
about.
Well earned, sir. Well earned. Look, there's two things, because you know I'm a West Coast fanatic. I'm a West guy. I love the energy. There's two things I have to admit, but I try my best not to. One is what he just said. Common cooked Ice Cube. He cooked him. And the second one is Ice Cube had his chain taken by who was it? What's the group? Fucking Dr. Green Thumb, Cypress Hill. There was some tension back and forth. Long story short, Cube lost the chain allegedly. To admit one of your rap heroes got ganked. Tough.
Kissing Beans.
I had to defend Jadakiss on this. You right that Beans did beat Jadakiss,
Nobody likes to talk about it.
but Jadakiss never said that Eminem was better than him.
Who said that?
Jadakiss never said the white boy was colder than him, more of a lyricist than him.
Listen.
Jadakiss has not been the knee in hip hop. The game did. Talk about that shit.
Let me tell you.
They talking facts. Like back then, he was really over. Hold on, I know it's gonna create some animosity, but the energy felt weird, bro. Like, I feel like 50 Cent was going above and beyond to prove, like, to. It was almost like he was trying to validate Eminem. I mean, for one, how you gonna validate a motherfucker that was rocking mics and doing this thing on the main scale before you? And it seemed like overpraise. I'm not saying you don't, homie nice, whatever, whoop de whoop de whoop. But it did have a bended knee vibe to it. I didn't understand it then. I still don't understand it now. I have my own. I'm gonna let them cook for about another minute or two. I do have my own little, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to the game, and that's really what the topic is. But I want to hear him finish cooking on this real quick.
Hey, the college dropout nigga was trying not to get blackballed.
No excuses.
All right, hold on, because look what happened when 50, got ate up by Jadakiss. They blackballed his album. They put his album to the back.
And you making Jadakiss seem more like a badass because that's the point. Jadakiss didn't give a fuck that he was going to be blackballed by Interscope.
Hold on.
He still came out and said what he needed to say.
That's fine, Sam, but this ain't about civil rights. This ain't about no civil rights. You talking about bars.
The game bent the knee to Eminem.
Yes.
In front of the whole entire hip-hop universe and said the white boy was better than him. Rhymefest never did that shit. Y'all go look at Justin Hunt, of course, video where Rhymefest, he was talking about the battle that he had with Eminem. And this is also something that we talked about years ago as well when Eminem stands used to come to us. For years we said he didn't beat Rhymefest. He didn't beat Rhymefest. So going back to the game, Rhymefest standing 10 toes down. Jadakiss standing 10 toes down. What did the game do? He bent the fucking knee.
I don't think it's nothing else for us to hear from that. Y'all check them out though. Thought Crimes. Watch this whole thing. It's good. The debate they have, it is real. So I don't want to use too much of a clip because it's really a dope episode. But check them out. But I'm about to tell you about this look, because this is something they didn't mention when it comes to. Let me start off by saying the game is hella talented. That's not my West Coast bias speaking. That's just, look, when the game really on, when he really on his ish, he really do it. Here's my issue though. Sometimes it seems like the game just do cornball-y type ish, man. And you can't explain it away, like you don't understand it. The game had an opportunity, and I think this, for one, I think it's some animosity between the game and Kendrick. We can only get that little revelation out the way if it is one. Yeah, I gotta remember back then, the West Coast was still in a little semi-dry rut, and the game was presented to be the guy for the West, right? I feel like the first era was, and if you go back to, they got the Beef series, it's this, whatever series it is, they got the game in it. An interview, I can't think of it, I want to say Jimmy Henchman or something like that said it. The biggest mistake ever was putting the game in G Unit. And the reason is because what the game meant to the West Coast was too big to have them in a group that wasn't a West Coast group. You got cats representing New York and all this other. It was destined to fail. It was destined to fail. So fast forward past that. Let's get to the point where, matter of fact, we're gonna fast forward past Game and 50 beefing because that's an easy beef. Because I personally think the game is just better than 50 Cent. But whatever, to each his own. A beef that happened for one that shouldn't have happened, I don't think it got the attention that it should have got, was the Game versus Yuckmouth. I think I did a video a while ago. I don't know if I posted it or not. I made it. I don't know if I posted it. But the Game versus Yuckmouth. Yuckmouth embarrassed that boy. And look, had him dressed in pink, and they robbed him and jacked him up in the hood and got pistols on him and all that. Watch the video. Watch the video. Yuck Mouth got a music video. This is the game. It was fire. That beef was so hot on the West Coast side that they had to have a whole. This is when they had the West Coast International, the West Coast meeting or whatever the fuck, and all the West Coast hip hop legends came together and like, hey, we supposed to be bigging up Game because he represents the West Coast and all this other stuff, and they killed the back and forth between him and Yuck Mouth because it had the potential to get ugly because, hey, you know where my block at, I know where your block at, what it is. Again, you can only go back and forth with a man so many times before the situation change. That's always going to be the fact. Always. There's only so many times we going to have civil discourse before it has to get uncivil. That's a fact. It will always be that way. So before that got ugly, they killed that, and then it was kind of like an attempt to realign the West to where it's like, okay, the main focus right now is Game. Some of the OGs started putting out albums or whatever to, hey, we not dead. It's time to wake up this sleeping giant type energy. But me seeing that, paying close attention to that, where I think a lot of people back then didn't pay attention to it at all, really. It just what, because Yuck Mouth wasn't looked at to a lot of people as an elite name to really make it work. It didn't have that buzz that 50 Cent versus Game had. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So as far as their debate, the Game would destroy Jadakiss, my answer is an emphatic no. Now, they mentioned Beanie Siegel. If we go mention Beanie Siegel, you better make sure Beanie Siegel at the top of that list. Let's go Beanie Siegel, Jada, and then whoever you want to put after that, I don't really care. You know, I don't be caring. But Beanie Siegel, once they mentioned him and added him to this little collective competition or whatever, it's a wrap. It's Beanie Siegel all day. He was, look, Jay-Z seen Beanie Siegel coming and jacked his career up. I think if Beanie Siegel would have got the push that he was supposed to get, instead of not only not getting proper push, but having somebody within the camp pulling the rubber band back so it's harder for you to move forward, man, Beanie Siegel was sabotaged, bro. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. But I just want to introduce y'all to Thought Crimes, man. If I hadn't already, I couldn't remember if I did, and I wasn't about to go back and search. And they had a good topic going on. But check out this episode. The link to this is going to be in the description. Check them out. If you sensitive skinned or whatever, I wouldn't go watch them because they ain't going to do nothing but piss you off. But like, comment, subscribe, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Keep the show going so we can continue to have these smoke breaks while we talk about music. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else be taking music too serious. We supposed to enjoy music. And for a lot of us, we usually smoking while we enjoying our music. So, figure somebody might as well make a channel that's for us. But I'm Oops Great. This is Kush Equilibrium. Again, I appreciate y'all coming in for this nice little smoke break while we talk about music. And I'm going to chop this up and get it to you.